Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ellen Benzine. I'm an account manager with Swipe Clock, and I will be conducting the ApplicantStack Onboard webinar this afternoon. It is the top of the hour. As always, we've got a few stragglers still coming in. We're going to give them a minute, and then I'll be right back to start the webinar. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Ellen Benzine. I'm an account manager with Swipe Clock, and I will be conducting the webinar this afternoon, and the topic is ApplicantStack Onboard. Let's go ahead and get started. With me this afternoon is Carol Kennedy. She, too, is an account manager with Swipe Clock, and she'll be helping me this afternoon. She'll be reading questions. Feel free to go ahead and input any questions you may have during the webinar, and we'll give you time after the webinar to input questions as well. And then, as mentioned, this is an ApplicantStack Onboard webinar. We are going to discuss activating your free onboard trial. You can do that this afternoon. You can do it right now if you want to, and that trial will be good until the end of the month. I'll get back to that. We're also going to talk about what is onboarding, the benefits of having a strong onboarding program, of course, how ApplicantStack Onboarding can assist with your employer brand, as well as bringing on those new hires in an efficient manner. And again, how to activate that onboard trial. Downloadable content that I found that you might find interesting as well is this link right here. When you get the webinar deck after the webinar, that link will be live. But I promote Allie's work all the time on these webinars. Allie is in our marketing department, and she writes wonderful blogs on recruiting and onboarding and hiring trends and challenges in hiring. I would highly suggest that you read her articles. You can access all of her articles from your ApplicantStack Recruit homepage. And then, as mentioned, at the end, we'll have a question and answer session. And those questions can be on anything ApplicantStack. It doesn't have to be on just ApplicantStack Onboard. Moving on, what is onboarding? Onboarding includes an entire process that encompasses everything required when a new employee starts. We know it includes completing paperwork, such as the I-9, federal tax forms, state tax forms, forms unique to your organization. But it also includes setting up workstations and computer access because you want your new hires to be productive as soon as possible. You want your new hire to be fully aware of what role he or she is fulfilling and what the expectations of that role is. And then you want to create a team and a company environment for your new hires. So making social introductions is also part of onboarding. Benefits of onboarding. You might have seen this percentage in some correspondence you've received from our marketing department. 69% of workers who have been properly onboarded stay with the company for at least 3 years. And that percentage number is huge because obviously a positive onboarding experience increases retention, but decreases wasted investments. So I've seen all sorts of statistics about what the cost is if a fairly new employee leaves and you have to hire a new one, you have to go through that recruiting process again, and you have to go through onboarding again. And you don't want to have to spend the money associated, the time and money associated in doing that. So make sure your onboarding process is a positive one and your retention rate will increase. Positive onboarding also increases job satisfaction, which in turn creates faster productivity. Onboarding improves the understanding of the company culture, the mission, again, the job expectations. What does the role expect? And when you do this during the onboarding process, all of this is discussed at the beginning. Onboarding improves team dynamics. So how do you improve team dynamics? Maybe it's a scavenger hunt or a virtual welcome party or trivia or bingo or a meal event. So just all of these things to consider when you evaluate your onboarding process, and maybe you can make it a little bit more effective. You can absolutely make it effective with ApplicantStack Onboarding. ApplicantStack Onboarding empowers organizations to manage their onboarding process. Onboarding integrates with ApplicantStack Recruit. I'm going to show you that, but what that means is when a candidate applies for an opportunity in ApplicantStack Recruit, you move them through your recruit workflow stages to the hired stage. That applicant can transition to onboarding, and you can then begin the onboarding process. ApplicantStack Onboarding provides e-signature capabilities, so there's no need to use an outside software program for e-signature, for the I-9, for tax forms, for your employee handbook acknowledgement. It is all within ApplicantStack Onboarding, and we do abide by all e-signature guidelines. ApplicantStack Onboarding also includes message templates, and let's pause here for a minute. If you create message templates, you know that the message is going to be accurate and the message is going to be in compliance. And that's something that we talk about a lot, is communicating with applicants in recruiting and with hires in onboarding. You want that messaging to be a positive message. No errors, no syntax issues. And again, when you have message templates and use them, you know the messaging, the context of the message is correct. ApplicantStack allows for uploading documents unique to your organization into the onboarding library, ultimately to assign those documents for completion to your new hires. So again, ApplicantStack provides state tax forms, federal tax forms, some other miscellaneous forms that are ready for your use, but you're clearly or most likely going to have your own forms that you want your new hires to potentially sign, date, and complete as well. You can upload those documents and then assign those documents to your new hires. Onboarding includes checklists. So if you think about the onboarding process, a new hire, again, needs to complete many, many forms. And you can assign forms to new hires in ApplicantStack Onboarding one by one by one, but that's not really efficient. You can create a checklist in onboarding, and the checklist is based on the type of hire. I have checklists that I'm going to show you that are for hires in the state of North Carolina, hires in the state of South Carolina, an hourly paid employee versus a salaried employee. But a checklist bundles all the onboarding tasks and documents so that you assign the checklist, and then all tasks are populated in the new hire record. This is another one, the next one that I just harp on all the time. ApplicantStack Onboarding tracks all activity and creates an audit trail. So if you ever need to retrace your steps or evaluate maybe what somebody else has done, then you can look at the entire history associated with the activity of new hires. And onboarding presents a positive experience and promotes that employer brand. That's another thing that we talk about is how to promote a positive employer brand. And you want your new hires to be part of a positive onboarding experience. And ApplicantStack can help you with that as well. And then best of all, your new hires are not sitting in your conference room completing paperwork the first day for 2 or 3 hours and then say, oh my gosh, I didn't bring, the proper paperwork. I don't have this information. With ApplicantStack Onboarding, you populate their new hire record with all tasks necessary. You give them access to their onboarding portal, and your new hires can complete all information from the comfort of their living room. All right, this is a special offer for ApplicantStack Recruit customers, and that is, as I mentioned in the first slide, we are offering a free onboard trial through the end of November so that you can evaluate onboarding yourself, determine whether or not onboarding will suit your onboarding processes. You can configure onboarding during the trial. You can run through test hires. Anything that you modify in the onboarding software during your trial stays intact. So when you decide to upgrade and add onboarding to your ApplicantStack account, all of that work has already been done. So that work, again, allows for a centralized place for documents for your candidates. We talked about checklists, onboarding tasks, some of the things that you see there, e-signing documents. And we haven't talked about customized reporting and workflows, but I will show you some of that during the onboarding demonstration. It's easy to activate your onboarding trial. Submit a technical support ticket. You can do so by clicking on the white question mark in the upper right-hand corner of your ApplicantStack screen, and then from the drop-down, ask a question. Simply tell us you want to activate a trial. We can do it in 5 minutes. And then once you activate, or once you activate is the right word, onboarding, you can access training videos and articles from our help center. Again, I would highly suggest creating a test hire, moving them through your onboarding process to make sure that the hire experience is a positive one. Upcoming events, we're getting ready for the holidays, closing down calendar year 2024, but let's talk about what's going on. We have an Ask Me Anything session on November 19th, and that is on tasks in ApplicantStack. A task is a to-do. ApplicantStack Recruit webinar is scheduled for December 10th, and we're going to focus on getting ready for 2025. So what does that mean? Evaluating maybe your workflows, evaluating your messaging, again, promoting that positive, in this case, recruiting experience for your candidates who apply. And then we do have a webinar with our partner, Verified First. That's scheduled on November 13th, as you can see, 2 p.m. East Coast time. Feel free to go ahead and scan those QR codes that you see now, but you can always sign up for these webinars on your ApplicantStack homepage by clicking the links there as well. All right, let's move into the demo. And you should all now be seeing my ApplicantStack Recruit homepage. And the reason why I'm starting with my Recruit homepage is, as I mentioned, ApplicantStack Recruit and Onboard are integrated. So when a candidate is moved to the hired stage in ApplicantStack Recruit, that individual will move to onboarding, assuming you have our onboarding software. So I'm going to move from the home page to the Candidates tab. And my candidate for the day is David Jones. He is in the job offer stage. I am going to move him to the next stage in my recruit flow, which is the hired stage. Again, the trigger stage to move a candidate in recruit to onboarding. You'll see that the onboarding workflow is the default workflow here, and David's onboard manager will be Faith Vliga. So once I confirm the stage change here, you'll notice that David is now in the hired stage in ApplicantStack Recruit, And I am now going to transition to onboarding. And to do so, I click on the 3x3 square in the upper right-hand corner, and I am switching products from Recruit to onboarding. And here is my onboarding homepage. And for those of you who are not familiar with onboarding, obviously the user interface looks very similar to that of ApplicantStack Recruit. Here's that announcement panel where many of you might have registered for this webinar. And there's Allie's blog links. Any activity summary, which means emails coming from my new hires at this point, would be shown in the center panel. And then any tasks assigned to me associated with the onboarding process would be shown in this far right panel. You'll notice that this is now a pipeline summary of hires. In ApplicantStack Recruit, on the ApplicantStack homepage, it's a pipeline summary of your jobs and the candidates within those jobs. Well, now we're talking about hires. And this is the default hire workflow. When a candidate transitions from Recruit, they come into the new stage in ApplicantStack Onboarding, and then you move your new hires through the stages of your onboarding process. You can see the number of new hires in the new stage, number of candidates. I just did it again. New hires in the paperwork stage, and again, you move your hires through the stages. So this gives you a high-level overview. If I move from the Home tab to the Hires tab, this gives you more information about those hires. And there's David Jones, and he just moved from Recruit. This is I'm on East Coast time. So David just moved from Recruit to onboarding. And these are what we call hire fields. You can configure up to 30 hire fields. It's information about the hire. Obviously, you need the name of the hire. The tasks are the number of onboarding tasks that the new hire has been assigned, how many have been completed, and a percentage of completion. I do have texting in my demo account, so any valid text phone number, you'd see the icon here associated with texting, and you can text your new hires from this hire page or within their hire record. You'll see David, as we know, was just created today. He's in the new stage, and Faith Bliga is his manager. So before we get into David's record, his new hire record, I'm going to move to the library. And the reason why I'm doing this is any task, any form, any questionnaire assigned to a new hire needs to be in the library. So let's go ahead and visit the library, and we'll discuss templates and questionnaires and checklists. So I am in the library. These are the form templates that I have in my library. And by definition, a form in an ApplicantStack onboarding world is a document that needs a signature. So you'll notice I have a variety of 2024 state tax forms. I've got a handbook acknowledgement form. There's the I-9. For those of you who don't know, we do have the new I-9 ready. Actually, it's been ready for a bit, but that goes until May 31st of 2027. If you collect CC 305 data, we have that form ready for your use as well. So you do need to populate your library with all the forms that you would assign to your new hires. You do have the addition, as mentioned earlier, to add a form. So if you have a form unique to your organization, you would name the form, you can choose the file, and by clicking the next button, it will be uploaded. The file does need to be in PDF format prior to uploading. And I did upload a form earlier today, and I entitled it an old W-4. And let me click on it. It's from 2016. I know it's old, but I uploaded it earlier today. And the reason I did so is to show you that when you upload your own forms unique to your organization, you can edit them within ApplicantStack Onboarding. So if I come over here to the gray menu on the right and I click Edit Form, I get some tools. You'll see them down the left-hand side of my screen. Here's the 2016 W-4, and I need an employee signature field to be completed by the new hire. So I'm going to pull the signature field type down and over. I have the ability to modify it a bit. And done. And here's a date field. So let's pull over the date picker field type. And when the candidate completes this form, a little calendar will come up and they can choose the appropriate date. So other type of field types that you can use to edit forms unique to your organization include those that you see there: single line text, multi-line. We talked about signature and date fields, but there's a variety of other fields that you can use to modify or edit documents that you upload. All right, let's move from form templates to questionnaires in the onboarding library. Questionnaires, just like an ApplicantStack Recruit, draw additional information. Typically, it's from your new hires, but it really can be from other ApplicantStack users as well. In this case, it might be a questionnaire on what size shirt do you need, who's your emergency contact information. So again, you create questionnaires in ApplicantStack Onboarding, just like you do in ApplicantStack Recruit. We talked about message templates earlier and how critical your messaging is to promote consistency and compliance and employer branding and a positive image of your company. You can see the message templates that I have here. This particular message template, entitled Congratulations, it gets triggered, and I'm going to show you this in a bit, when a individual moves from recruit to onboarding. So you can see it's, hi, Susie, we're excited to have you. Look for another email explaining our onboarding process. So it's just kind of a welcome, feel-good message template that gets triggered. Again, because I have texting in my account, that message is being triggered via email and text. The other message template that I want to call out is this welcome to the hiring process, because you're going to populate new hire records with tasks that the new hire and ApplicantStack users need to complete in order to finalize a new hire onboarding process. Once you populate a new hire record, you've got to let your new hire know about it, right? You've got to let them know that they can access their ApplicantStack onboarding portal and start completing those tasks. Again, you can personalize these messages using merge codes that ApplicantStack Onboard provides. But what's critical when this message goes is your hire needs to know their username, which is always the email that's in ApplicantStack Onboarding, and a system-generated password will also be provided, as will the link to their onboarding portal. So those are messages that are critical. Well, the welcome to the hiring process message is critical, so your new hire knows it's time to access their portal. Tasks are to-dos, so a variety of tasks. Here you can see if you have a hard copy file for your new hires, if you want somebody to give your new hire a tour if they're working at a facility or a building. So it's a variety of tasks that you can designate to the new hire as well as other ApplicantStack users. We talked about checklists. Checklists are the bundling of new hire tasks based on type of hire. You can see my checklist here. You can create as many checklists as you want. My new hire checklist for the state of North Carolina for any employee in that state includes what you see here: I-9, the federal W-4, North Carolina state tax form, VEVRA post-offer information, handbook acknowledgement form, and then you can see some tasks as well. I'm going to show you how to assign a checklist to a new hire in a minute. But again, you can create checklists by creating or by clicking on Create Checklist. I'm on the gray menu, first option on the right. And what you do is you just drag and drop information that's in your library to create your checklist. So it's very simple. That's how you build checklists. And of course, you would name it the appropriate name. The final function in ApplicantStack Onboard Library is what we call supporting documents. Supporting documents are informational only. Nobody needs to sign anything. If they don't request information from the new hire or from another ApplicantStack user, it's informational only. So you can see what the examples of supporting documents I have here. It might be, a drug and alcohol abuse policy. It might be a pay schedule. It might be a holiday schedule. You can see I have the employee handbook there, I-9 instructions, as well as an onboarding video. In order to upload supporting documents, you can add documents by clicking on Add Documents from the gray menu on the right, and you choose the file you want to upload. And if you want all hires to have that as a supporting document, you can then check the box, and it'll automatically be assigned to all new hires. So again, the onboard library houses all of those things that you need to communicate with hires and populate new hire records. So I'm going to move back to the Hires tab. This is where David Jones just came from Recruit, if you recall. He has no tasks assigned to him. I'm going to click on his name, and this is his new hire record. All of this information came over from ApplicantStack Recruit. There's no need to rekey any of that information. David is hired for the accounting manager opportunity. You can see he's in the new stage in ApplicantStack onboarding. So his new hire record, there's nothing here. I will say again that I did trigger an email in my hire workflow. So you'll see that David did receive this email. That was the congratulations email that I showed you in the library. All right, so now we begin populating David's new hire record, right? So if I come over to the gray menu on the right and I click on Add Form, these are all the forms that I just showed you in my library. If I click on the 2024 Arizona State Tax Form, it's going to be assigned to the hire, and I can go ahead and submit that. And now there's that form that needs to be completed by David. But I don't want to assign form by form by form. We are going to assign a checklist which will automatically populate David's record with all of those things in the North Carolina checklist. So that's the checklist I'm going to choose. Again, you'll see the documents and the tasks, the forms that make up that checklist. And once I submit it, David's record will be populated. So if I move down, now David has all of these hire tasks to complete. And if you recall, you can assign tasks to ApplicantStack users as well. So you'll notice tour of the office, ordering a uniform. Those are tasks that have been assigned to Carol and Faith Bliga. All right. Oh, shoot. That wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. Let's go back to the hire detail. There, we're back. What I wanted to do was open up this filter, because you now see that the I-9 and the 2024 federal, what they call federal withholding certificate, are in a pending status here under ApplicantStack user tasks. And the reason why they're in a pending status is those are two-part forms. The new hire needs to complete his or her part of the I-9 first and the W-4 federal tax form prior to the employer completing the employer side of the form. So those forms are going to stay in pending status until the new hire completes his or her part of those forms. So again, just to take a step back, if you do have two-part forms that you want your hire to complete and then employer, or vice versa, ApplicantStack Onboarding can accommodate that as well. Now, David's record has been populated. He's still in the new stage, okay? I can email, I can text new hires from the gray menu on the right, but if you recall, David needs to be made aware to access his onboarding portal and start completing his tasks. This can be done either manually, so if I click Email Hire, here's the template, the information I need to complete, and the template I want to choose is Welcome to the Hiring Process. We saw that in the library, and you can now see that the information has been populated. Those merge codes are pulling in David's name for that personalization, and now you're emailing David with his appropriate information in order to access his onboarding and complete all of those tasks assigned. Once that email gets sent, you'll get a message saying it was successfully done. And you can also look in the new hire record, and you'll see that that email has in fact been sent. So I did that manually, but I'm going to show you my workflow because you do have the ability to automate ApplicantStack onboarding. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and access David's portal. And I do that by clicking on View Portal. And this is what your new hires will see, something similar to this. You can do a bit of branding up here with your logo. This welcome message can be modified to suit your particular needs. David can modify his contact information if anything has changed. Here's the job for which he's been hired. Here are those supporting documents we talked about, informational documents only. And then here are the actual forms and tasks that David needs to complete. It's very intuitive. All you do is click on Start Task, and then you begin the process. And what's nice here is these forms can be populated. So contact information is generally information that's included on the majority of forms that your new hire must complete. So know that they can be auto-populated, and then that means your new hires aren't inputting that information time and time again. So just getting back to that portal, this is what a new hire onboarding portal will look like. All right. So now your new hire has received the welcome, the congratulations email. They've received the welcome to the hiring process email, and ApplicantStack users will get notified as new hires complete tasks associated with their onboarding process. Moving to the gray menu on the right, you do have some other options. You can add a hire manually if you want to. Just like in ApplicantStack Recruit, you can search your hires. You can export information. We talked about emailing hires, texting hires. If you have either basic or premium texting, you have the ability to obviously text hires. You can add a task, a single task. You can add a single form. But again, I would suggest creating checklists for type of hire so you can bundle all of those tasks and forms and assign a checklist. You can archive old forms. If you want to add attachment to a new hire record, you have the ability to do that, add note, print, edit, etc. As I scroll down this new hire record, the last thing I want to show you here is, again, that audit trail. Activity is tracked automatically by ApplicantStack. so you always know what's going on. If Carol is out of the office and I need to onboard a new hire or respond to a new hire's question, I can go to their record and see exactly what has happened. So onboarding is very efficient for a variety of reasons. It integrates with ApplicantStack Recruit. You're assigning onboarding documents to your new hire. They can complete them at home prior to the first day of work, and you have an audit trail of all activity associated with onboarding. All right. The final thing that I want to show you here before we open it up for questions and answers is that I am signed in as an ApplicantStack administrator. And in both Recruit and Onboarding, there are 3 ApplicantStack roles. An administrator has the ability to see everything and do everything in both Recruit and Onboarding, which includes configuring your ApplicantStack account. A recruiter role can see and do everything, but cannot configure or make system-wide changes to the account. And then a hiring manager can see candidates in Recruit and can see the status of their hires in Onboarding. I am signed in as an administrator. I'm going to click on my picture because I want to show you my workflow in Onboarding. We've talked about manually assigning forms, manually assigning tasks, but let's talk about automation opportunities. So if I click on my picture and I click on the drop-down setup from the drop-down, move over to configure from the blue menu on the left, I'm going to just briefly show you my hire workflow. Go ahead and edit the default workflow. So this is what's happening behind the scenes, and ApplicantStack administrators can configure this themselves. When David Jones entered the new stage from ApplicantStack Recruit in, again, transition to the new stage in onboarding, this email triggered and a text triggered. So right immediately, David knows, okay, yay, I know I got hired, but the process continues. They're congratulating me. Next stage in the onboarding flow is the paperwork stage. This is where that email triggers, welcome to the hiring process if you've got your account configured this way. And you now have the ability to assign the appropriate checklist. Moving to the orientation stage, here's an email that's going out that's being triggered. Here's a text that can be triggered as well. So again, those things that I showed you manually can all be automated as you move your hires through the stages of your onboarding workflow. Moving across the top, we talked about hires. Emails and tasks are system-wide. You can filter to find the information you want. We looked at all functions in the library. The final tab across the top is a reports tab. If I click here, I have a very simple new hire report that I created. If I click on the name of the report, you'll see the information that's in there. You can create these reports. You can then export them into a CSV formatted file and share that information with anybody in your organization that's interested in that. Finally, back to home, just to mention once again, you can, or we can activate an onboarding trial for you this afternoon. And if you would like us to do that, please click on the white question mark in the upper right-hand corner. From the drop-down, ask a question. You can complete the template, and we will activate an onboarding trial for you. It'll be good through the end of the month, and any system modifications you make in the trial, any configurations that you make, all of those will stay intact when you upgrade to include ApplicantStack Onboarding. Also, just want to mention here, Help Center. There are articles and videos on ApplicantStack Onboarding here that you can access as well. If you have any questions on how-to or technical support questions, that's through that Ask a Question link as well. All right. That is the product overview of ApplicantStack Onboarding. Again, it integrates with Recruit. I was actually onboarded using our own software. So just to let you know, I got the link and I just went through it and I thought, okay, I'll just click on Start Task, and I completed my onboarding process. I don't know, maybe 45 minutes, an hour. It all depends on the tasks that you assign your new hires. But again, I was onboarded using our own software, so I think that's pretty neat. That is the overview. We're now more than willing to answer any questions that you have on ApplicantStack Onboarding and anything else that might be of interest. So, Carol, are you there?
I am. Thank you, Ellen. We do
Okay.
have one question so far. Where can I find the slides or the recorded webinar?
All right. So anybody that has registered or participated, actually signed or became a participant, will get an email when this is over. It will include the recording and the slides of this webinar. And then, we also have something called ApplicantStack University. And the university includes recordings of prior webinars as well. If you visit our ApplicantStack webpage, applicantstack.com, under, I think it's additional resources, there are also, there's a drop down there, and you can click on ApplicantStack University and view some of these webinars as well. But you'll be getting an email for sure.
All right. We have a thank you on that, so thank you, Ellen. Okay. Next question. Where can we upload a logo to our new hire portal or do some additional branding?
Oh, good question. Okay. I am still in ApplicantStack Onboarding. That is an admin function, so your administrator does need to complete this task. But if I'm on the gray menu on the right, and if I click on Update Settings, you'll notice if I scroll down, here is a segment entitled Hire Portal. And it's here that you can modify that welcome message as well as upload your logo. So if I click on Edit Settings from the gray menu on the right, here's the portal message, and here's where you can choose your logo to give your onboarding portal a little bit of branding.
All right, thank you, Ellen. Next question. We have a supporting document that needs to be assigned to one individual. It's not for everybody, it's just for one particular hire.
Okay.
Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the supporting document needs to be in your library. And I just clicked on the library tab in onboarding. And if I navigate to the blue menu on the left and click on supporting documents, that document needs to be included here. In my demo account, these documents are defaulting to all hires. But if you, let me see something here. I'm going to uncheck this document, so it's not going to default to all hires. Let me save that change. It's the onboarding video. I'm going to move to the Hires tab. And let's just use Maria Valdez as an example. Scroll down in her new hire record. These are the documents that have been assigned to everybody. But if you want to assign an additional document that you have that's not going to auto-assign to everybody, you have the ability to do so. So I can check that onboarding video, submit it, and then that supporting document will be assigned to this new hire. So if you have supporting documents that are specific to types of hires, when you upload them, don't check the box to default to assigning to all new hires.
Excellent. Thanks, Ellen. Next question. You had mentioned the welcome email. Is there a way to have that automatically go out to the hire so we don't forget to send it?
Absolutely. So I did show that, but let me show that again. That's a means of automation, obviously. So as we discussed, you can assign that email manually within a candidate record, but you don't want to do that for the reason that you just mentioned. You need to make sure that that email goes out to all hires at the appropriate time. So in my particular account, I have the account welcome email triggered when I move a candidate to the hired stage. Excuse me, no, to the paperwork stage. So again, if I click on my picture in the upper right-hand corner, go to Setup, Configure. This is an administrative function. Go to my workflow. When I move a candidate to the paperwork stage in my demo account, that's when that email will trigger with those 3 pieces of critical information: the username, the system-generated password, and the link to the hire portal.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Next question, we're on a recruit question. And questions can be anything ApplicantStack, Recruit, or Onboard, so we're not limited to the topic from today. We need a writing sample from our candidates as they apply. Is there a way to request that they attach that information?
Absolutely. I have transitioned back to ApplicantStack Recruit. I'm on my homepage. I'm going to move to the Jobs tab. And I actually think I have an example here. Let's look at this English teacher job. So this is just the summary tab of this English teacher job that I have in my demo account. I'm going to move over to questions. And so you'll notice the questions associated with this job include the application for employment. That's a system setting, so that's going to be automatically included with every job that you create or I create in my demo account. But you'll notice attachments are requested here. For an English teacher, the attachment request is a lesson plan, a writing sample, and certifications. And the reason or how you do that is, again, I've moved over from the summary of the job page to the questions associated with the job. And if I click on Edit Attachments here, you have the ability to request the information that I just showed you. When an individual applies for that job, they'll have the ability to upload a lesson plan, a writing sample, and certifications. So you can do that on a per job basis because you wouldn't want to do that spanning all jobs.
Okay, thank you. Next question. While in the recruiting section, I like to hold on to resumes from potential candidates with their permission so I can reach out if our needs change. However, deleting the original job posting removes all candidates from the pipeline summary. Is there a way to retain these candidates in the pipeline summary, or is there a more effective workflow for organizing applications?
All right. I'm going to answer it, and then Carol, please jump in. What a lot of our customers do is if you're holding on to candidates because they might be qualified for a future opportunity, you can create a stage here, that says candidate pool and move them into that stage. And when you have another opportunity arise, you can click on your candidates tab, click on search from the gray menu on the right. You can search and you would have a candidate pool stage here. So you could specify that candidate pool stage. And then you could include mixing and matching some of this field information as well as keywords. So you can specify, once again, candidate pool. Gosh, I think a good candidate, I recall their first name was Joe. I can't remember what the last name is, but you could input first name. You could trigger the search. You could include keywords. So that's one way of doing it. Carol, can you think of any other way that
Yeah,
is
so
an option?
I'm rereading the question.
Okay.
And yeah, deleting the original job posting removes the candidates from the pipeline summary. So I'm thinking what's happening is that pipeline summary is for active job stages. So I'm wondering
Yep.
if deleting the job is putting them candidates into an inactive stage, so they're falling off of that pipeline. So you may want to create a stage, something like future consideration, perhaps, and make that an active stage so that stays in the pipeline. That is my thought around that. So maybe we want to have a support ticket put in, and see if we can't dig into that a little bit deeper or figure out best ways of moving forward with that. But those are the initial thoughts that I have.
Yep, I agree. Thanks, Carol.
Yep. Okay. Next question. Can you assign annual training videos and acknowledgments throughout the year to those hired? Or is it specific to onboarding items only?
Yes. So you do have the ability to filter your hires and assign additional tasks. So you might want to filter on creation date or last modified date. So if your new hires have completed onboarding, typically you move them into what we call a complete stage, which is an inactive stage, which means your hires cannot access their onboarding portal to modify any information. If you want to assign additional information to hires based on hire date, whatever the case might be, you would have to move them, you'd have to move them to an active stage. So in that case, you might want to create a stage in onboarding, and maybe the stage is annual information or whatever you want to name the stage. It has to be active, because then you could assign a video or other information and notify your hire at that point in time that they do need to access their onboarding portal again and complete current information that's requested. So yes, you can do it. You need to track some information in onboarding in order to do so that you can find those hires that you want to send additional requests to. And if you need help in doing that, please go ahead and submit a technical support ticket.
Yep. Okay. We got a great and a thank you for that.
I like thank yous.
Don't we all? Okay, let's go back to Recruit, Ellen. How do we launch a job site that's not listed in the list of sites?
Excellent question. All right. So again, I'm on my ApplicantStack Recruit homepage, and if I move to jobs, these are the jobs in my demo account. And we offer integrations with a variety of job boards, the free ones being Indeed's organic free feed, if you're suitable and approved by Indeed for the free feed, Google for Jobs, LinkedIn limited postings, and of course your organization's job board. We also have integrations with Job Target, which is a job board aggregator. So through Job Target, you can launch your jobs to 25,000 sites. We also have an integration already developed with Monster, Dice, Career Builder, and ZipRecruiter. Those are paid sites, so you would need to pay for those site services, but you can launch your ApplicantStack jobs from ApplicantStack to those job boards. But that's not really the question. The question is, what if I want to advertise a job on a community college, on a technical site, on an association, something along those lines is how I'm interpreting it. So I just clicked on the accounting manager opportunity. it lands me on my summary tab. If I move over to the launch tab, then you'll see, as I scroll down, what we call manual posting links. And a manual posting link is automatically created by ApplicantStack for every job that is open. You would still need to manually post that job on that niche job board, but you would capture one of these links. And when a candidate accesses that niche job board, reads your job description, sees this link in the job description, they can click on it, come right into ApplicantStack to apply. And what that means is, regardless of where candidates see your jobs, they can still come into ApplicantStack. You can manage all candidates from within ApplicantStack. So again, those are manual posting links, and there's an article in our Help Center as well if you want to read more about it.
All right, thanks, Ellen. I would just point out Job Target as well has 25,000 plus sites to post to. So that might be another option to explore for some additional sites.
Perfect.
Okay. Last question. We've got about 4 minutes left, so we should be in this one. Is there a report or some kind of resource to show us which posting sites are working best for us and which ones we should continue to invest in moving forward?
Great question. So I'm in ApplicantStack Recruit. I'm going to move over to the Reports tab. And you can create your own reports here. These dashboard reports we've created, you cannot modify them, but you can modify reports that are called My Reports, and you can create new reports. So there is a report that's entitled Source Performance. And what that's going to show, this is my demo account. So this isn't showing real great data here, but it will show where your candidates have seen your jobs. And that's important, especially if you're paying to post somewhere. You want your return on investment. So if you're paying to post on a job board through Job Target or Monster or ZipRecruiter, you want to be able to see where your candidates are coming from and where those candidates or where your hired candidates are coming from. So when you have data, or if you have data in your account, you have the ability to run this source performance account.
All right, fantastic. I think that is it for the questions, Ellen.
Okay. So again, we're promoting a free onboarding trial through the end of the month. We're here to help you with that trial. In order to activate it, again, please feel free to click on the white question mark in the upper right-hand corner, ask a question, and we can, again, create that onboarding trial for you this afternoon. So don't waste time, because it's October 7th now, and you want to take advantage of the entire trial time. So I thank you for coming this afternoon. I hope you have found this beneficial. And we look forward to seeing all of you on the Verified First Partner webinar, the next Ask Me Anything hour, and then I believe it's the final product webinar of the year on December 14th, and that's a recruit webinar. Nope. It's on December 10th. Should have looked up here first in the announcements panel. So thank you all. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.